Most of you will recognise this river behind me. Of course, it's the mighty River Tyne, not the biggest in the world, but one of the most important, as back in the day it formed part of the beating heart of the Industrial Revolution as we supplied ships and coal and other industrial stuff to the rest of the world. And as it flows underneath these famous bridges about 6 or 7 miles east, it plops out into the North Sea. But what's the source of the River Tyne? Where does all this water come from? Well, it actually starts with 2 rivers, the River South Tyne and the River North Tyne. They converge just west of Hexham. And in this video, I'm going to go to the source of the River Tyne north to show you exactly where it starts. And not only that, I'm going to wild camp at the very spot. It's coming up. Well, welcome back. It's Eddie here from Tyneside Life. I cover the history, culture, sometimes the football of Newcastle and the general Tyneside area. So I'm here. It's about an hour and 20 minutes drive from the Newcastle gated area. And there's a clue as to where I am. Yes, I'm right on the border between England and Scotland, up on the northwest tip of Kielder Forest, in the Cheviots, at a place called Deadwater. And the source of the River Tyne north that'll eventually flow into what we know as the River Tyne is literally about 200 metres up there. So I'm going to get my kit out the back of the car, so follow me. Well, this is it. This is the marker stone that marks the north source that will eventually go into the River Tyne. Now, the small trickle of water is actually just about 20 metres over there. It's very underwhelming. It's tiny. It's hard to believe that this little trickle of water going down this gully will eventually one day go underneath the Tyne Bridge. Now, it actually goes back about another 200 or 300 metres, but it disappears into the undergrowth. This is the spot where you first start to see it. Now, what's the crack with this huge stone monument here? Well, this was laid in 2013 in the October, but in 2012 the brainchild behind this was a guy called Brian Burney, and he had a passion for helping victims of cancer. So him and 3 pals, one of which had prostate cancer at the time, decided to do the 135-mile walk from the sources, north and south, to the sea, and they created a national trail called the River Tyne Trail. They set up a cancer foundation called Daft as a Brush. You might have heard of it, and when it was set up it had about 20 ambulances and a couple of hundred members of staff. Now it has 40 ambulances, I believe, and about 400 members of staff. They're doing incredible work to help victims of cancer, to give them free transportation from home and to the hospital so that they can receive their treatment. In fact, Brian went on to do the 7,000-mile walk around the whole of the British Isles. He wants to make this a national thing. Now, the stone that's here, there's one, of course, at the source of the South Tyne at Garrigill in the Pennines in Cumbria. There's one where the north and south tributaries meet at Watersmeet near Warden, just west of Hexham, and there's one each at the end at Tynemouth and South Shields. Now, this one I believe is the biggest one, 10 tons. Now, I got really excited about this when I found out how they brought it in, because back in the day when I was in the Air Force for a couple of years, 89 and 90, I was on the Chinook Squadron, the Joint Helicopter Support Unit, RAF Odium in Hampshire, and eventually did 4 months in the Falklands with the Chinooks as well. Now, when I was doing my research and watched the video as to how they'd done it, there was a Chinook in October 2013 from RAF Odium bringing this 10-ton lump of Northumberland sandstone to this very point. And when I was on GHSU, I specialised in underslung loads, so it was like, oh, look at that. I got really excited. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. I'm going to start setting my tent up. Well, that's it. That's me tent up. I just need to tidy up the edges a little bit. I'm going to get my kit inside, get myself sorted out, and I'm going to catch up with you a little bit later and tell you what's going on. So, I need some water for me cooking and brews later on. So how many people can say they've got water directly from the River Tyne? Now of course, it's dirty, it's unsafe in this form. So what I'll do is when I boil it thoroughly, it'll be okay to cook with or to make a brew. Welcome to my tent. I'm all comfy now. I think it's about time I started my tea, and this evening I got a ribeye steak, not just any old ribeye steak, it's proper Aldi steak, and some tinned potatoes and marifat peas. And I live in the dream. Double bagged, just in case there's any leakage inside of my rucksack. And it's been marinating in rapeseed oil, salt and pepper, smoked paprika, and it's ready to go into my pan. Ooh, look at that. So I'll turn this on. There we go. I was going to cook outside on the little stone bench there, but it's a bit windy. And there we go. That should cook just nicely over the next few minutes. So enough time to tell you about the exciting walk I'm going to be doing, which is the River Tyne Trail, this being the very beginning of it, like I explained earlier. And I'm going to walk the Tyne from the north source, missing out the south source because that would add an extra 3 days onto it, and there's a bit of a logistical issues with that. So it'll take probably 7 days walking, just short of 100 miles. I'll be carrying all my kit, wild camping most of it. Might spend 1 or 2 nights in a B&B, who knows, just to get myself sorted and recharge up my gadgets and whatnot. So I'm really excited about it. I'm going to bring you some brilliant content from this trek, stories of the River Tyne, things you probably didn't know about in relation to the River Tyne, things that I didn't even know that I'm dying to tell you about in regards to the River Tyne. And I'm going to be doing this at the end of May, possibly the beginning of June, for a week, like I say, just leading up to the European Championships. Oh, look at that, man. If you want to get notifications when I release these videos in relation to our mighty and magnificent River Tyne, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell, so every time I release one of these videos you'll get a notification, and it's free, of course. So that's cooking away just nicely, and now, because I'm a council estate lad, I'm just going to pour the contents of this into there, let it all cook in together. Oh, this is going to be absolutely yummy, scrummy. Another thing I want to tell you about, I mentioned it in a post a few months ago, I'm designing the Tyneside Life Metro pub crawl. I know there's a few versions of varieties out there. I'm not trying to copy somebody else's idea. This is a route that I'm designing that can maximise the interest of the history of the area as we go around. And I'm looking for anybody who's interested to join me and Helen. It's probably going to be on Saturday the 14th of June, starting at 12 o'clock. Of course, England play their first Euro match on the Sunday. And it'll be 8 pubs, Starting in the Centurion, we're going to go anti-clockwise. We'll be getting the ferry across the South Shields, back along and finishing a pub on Gated High Street. I know which bars we're going to be going in between. Like I say, there'll be 8 of them. I'm not going to spoil it all just yet. So if anybody would like to come along on that, drop us an email at inquiries@tynesidelife.com, and I'd love to hear from you, because I think it'll be absolutely brilliant. That is just about done. Have a little taste of that. Would you bloody believe it? 5-second rule. Oh, food tastes even better when you're out in the wild. It's time for a brew. Nice cup of tea. Oh, my meal was absolutely delicious. Straight in there, cup of tea. Oh, put that over there. With that lid on. Right, that's me. I'm going to chill out. I'll catch you shortly. Well, that's me, ready to hit the sack. I'm absolutely knackered. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Until next time, I'll catch you later.